my mouth. And all I have to do is start again, re-say something entirely different, and then edit that out, and no one's the wiser. When you do a live broadcast, you don't get that choice because it's out there. It's a matter of public record. People have heard it. I'll say this to you. We always heard sticks and stones may break my bones. Words may never harm me. That's not true. Because once words fly out of our mouth in the direction of somebody's ears, there is no way. You see, sound travels, 700 miles an hour or something like that? There's no way to pull that back. There's no way to do that. Other than if you said it and it's wrong, you apologize and try to make it better. But once something is said, it comes out of your mouth and you can't undo it. There's no way. This is why in relationships we get ourselves in trouble. Husbands and wives. The husband, he loves his wife, cares about her, but there's some things about her that just kind of stews in here. They get into a little thing over nothing, and all of a sudden something flies out of that man's mouth. Oh, I didn't mean to say that. Well, but you've been thinking it for a while, and now the damage is done. And so anyway, my standard that I have set for myself, and it's a standard that I expect, number one, myself to hold myself to that standard. Number two, I expect that listeners and viewers and friends of me hold me to that standard. And I say friends because there's some people out there that watch what we do here, watch the services, watch the online stuff, watch the Watchman broadcast, the Bible study. I can tell that they're not friends of mine because all they care about is their agenda and making me out to be wrong or whatever. They don't have any care about me or anything else. They're not my friends. But I listen to my friends. That's important to me. And I expect my friends to hold me to the standard that I set. And I try to set a high standard. And I've said this before. If you tell me that, I don't know, Billy Graham, okay? If you tell me that Billy Graham all his life has had a harem of women in his house, I don't know that. I don't know that he has. There are people out there that say that Billy Graham is a 33rd degree Mason. He might be. I don't have any pictures of him in a lodge meeting. I don't have that. So I don't go around telling everybody that I know for a fact that Billy Graham is a 33rd degree Mason and that he has a harem of women in his house. It's because I don't know that. I did not see that. I did not hear that with my ears. I wasn't there. So I don't know that. And so the standard that I set for myself was the standard of I'm going to tell what I know, what I've seen with my eyes, what I've heard with my ears. That's a standard that is upheld in just about every court of law in the land, in most places in the world, actually. Hearsay evidence is not allowed in a court of law. Why? Because anybody could say, well, she told me that he did this, but I don't know because I wasn't there. That's not allowed. Because if that were the case, then we could drag anybody in a courtroom and tell them, now, I'm telling you that he did this. Now go into court and say that. And it's not acceptable to do that. Even in, like if you watch like Judge Judy, small claims court, $5,000 or less, she won't listen to it. Well, but she told me that this is what I don't care. I want to know what you saw, what you heard. I want to know that. And so information was passed to me in Thursday's broadcast about Rob Skiba, about him having an association and a favor or learning under Bill Johnson, and all the things that go along with Bill Johnson. Now, I have seen with my eyes and heard with my ears the things that Bill Johnson has said and done. And so I'm going to tell what Bill Johnson has said and what he's done. And it's wrong. There is a different spirit operating through Bill Johnson than the spirit that runs through this Bible that inspired the words of this book. It is a different spirit. And since it is a different spirit, I do not call Bill Johnson a brother in the Lord that I hope he comes around to the right way. There's a different spirit there. That guy is a false prophet. And he promotes a spirit of heresy and drunkenness in his church. He's promoting it all over the world, and I have nothing to do with that. That is what I see and hear with my ears. It's what I see with my eyes. What is documented, what is recorded that he said, that's what I go after. But if you tell me, now, Bill Johnson, my mom works at his office, and she said he's like bilking money out of the... I don't know that. I don't know that. What I know is what I see and what I hear. That's my standard. And so, and the Holy Ghost reminded me of this on 2 different occasions within the last week and a half. I've taken secondhand information from people. Now, I'm not blaming the people who told me this. If you actually heard somebody say something, or you actually know that somebody said something, that's fine. I didn't hear it. I didn't see it, and I can't pass it on. It's not right. And so I'm not blaming them, well-intentioned though they may be. I'm blaming myself, because what I did with Dave Hunt, with Rob Skiba, is take information that was given to me third hand or second hand. I don't know. One of the other hands other than this hand right here, and I ran with it without checking it out, is what I did. Without evidence, without a document where Dave said this or Rob said this. That's what I did. And I don't have any evidence. I don't have proof. I don't have a video. And as you know, I like to put videos up on if somebody like at Bill Johnson's church, the young lady who said, "Oh, God was telling me that I could forgive this man's sins, even though he was deep in a coma, and he was just minutes away from dying. I forgave all his sins, so therefore he's in heaven." That's proof. She said it. There's the recording of it, and it's wrong. I don't have the recording of Skiba. I don't have the document that he wrote where he wrote this out. I don't have the video from his wedding where they were acting like drunks. I don't have that. In fact, Rob sent me a picture of his wedding showing what happened at his wedding. And what I said concerning his wedding was in error, and I apologize for it. I was wrong. What I said about Rob Skiba's favor of Bill Johnson, I don't remember every word that I said, but whatever I said about Skiba's connection with Bill Johnson, as far as I know, was in error. It was incorrect. It was wrong. It was unduly harmful, and I apologize. By the way, I've already written this in an email to him. He knows that I'm apologizing today. I don't know if he's watching. If he is or it isn't, it's not going to change what I say or how I'm going to say it. And so, in that sense, and the things that we have discussed, I was in error and I was wrong. And in the future, those of you who watch Mike Hoggard, those of you who favor what I say rings true with you, and you like it and you agree with it, and you think I'm God's man. If I'm wrong, you're supposed to sit down and write me an email and say, "Pastor, you're wrong. do it respectfully, because if I think you're just trying to put me in a paper shredder, I'm not going to listen to that. But if you're my friend, and you're a friend of this ministry, and you care about the reputation, the integrity, and the honor that this ministry needs to have if we're going to have an impact in our society today, then you send me a letter, and I'll read it. And if I agree with you, then God's going to be glorified. If I disagree with you, maybe I have a reason. Maybe I see it differently. Maybe I know something the Bible says, or maybe you heard something that I didn't explain myself well in, or there could be any other reason. I'm going to go to the Lord and pray about it and say, God, you show me what's right and what's wrong. I had somebody, a follower of mine from Australia, sent me a letter, and she pretty much told me how she didn't appreciate something that I did. And I didn't see anything wrong with what I did. And I wrote her back and I said, let's leave this up to the Lord to decide who's right and who's wrong. Can we do that so there's no broken friendship here? That didn't set well with this person, and they cut it off. I can't help that. I'm doing the best that I can. Granted, I cannot and I will not. I cannot and I will not knuckle under everybody who has a beef with me. I can't do it. And I won't do it. It wouldn't be fair to everybody else. It wouldn't be right. Somebody wrote me an email recently and said that they like the information I have, but in the background of the Watchman broadcast, this person says that they came out of high-level occult activity and they knew about how devils revealed themselves as orbs, little round shining disc objects. And this person said, you have those orbs in the background of your studio. Would you take those down because those represent devils? Well, they're just lights, and that's all they are. And I wrote them back and I said, I change backgrounds every year anyway. It's probably going to be something different. But I'm not going to use or not use a background simply because it got something round in the background. I can't do that. And so anyway, there are some unresolved issues between Skiba and I, and this is something that he has shared in his email to me, which I don't have permission to share the content of his email, so I will not. But there are issues still between us. And one in particular that I'm not backing down. I'm not changing. I'm not going to say, well, let's just forget about this one for now. I'm not doing it. And I'm not changing, and I'm not trying to have a hard heart here concerning my apology. What I said was wrong, and so on. I'm not changing